Well, I came in the middle of the 90s the first time, and I still remember that there were millions of bicycles and very few cars. Today there are millions of cars and very few bicycles. Well, actually I read a number of books about Chinese history, history of technology, and so many things have been developed in China, and so I was really intrigued, and I started really buying Chinese textbook. 我是学生, was the first sentence I saw in that book, and then later at university in Bochum I started studying, and I went to Bochum because they offered Chinese language courses. I've been to Jiangsu, but I've also traveled through the countryside with my son after he graduated from high school. We spent 2 weeks in China, of course in Beijing and the Great Wall. We went to Xi'an, to Shanghai and so forth, and we had a very good time. I must say Xi'an at that time was already very developed, huge building program. I understand there are many students, especially in IT at Xi'an University. There are many also computer or IT companies having established themselves. So even Xi'an was already very, very impressive, even though of course it still has also the traditional wall, which of course is also very impressive. So I think combining both the traditional Chinese way with being very modern, again, it was a very great experience. I think it's a great opportunity to connect the world, and it's very important, of course, both for China but also for the countries in Asia, in Europe and in Africa to create more connectivity, and therefore to create more opportunities for engaging and for being part of the global economy. China, of course, has started, like many other countries like Japan or Korea, with developing first the textile industry, light industries, then moving into heavy industry, and now into services and high-tech industries. And I think really giving also the other countries a chance to take that path, but it requires that you are well connected within the overall global economy. And if you don't have these connections, you cannot really participate, and your economic development will be very much focused internally, and that will limit your overall progress. I think China has demonstrated over the last 40 years that it can build outstanding infrastructure, and that infrastructure is one of the key elements of economic development.
Is it investing in infrastructure, physical infrastructure, communication infrastructure?
Clearly, when we talk about infrastructure, it also means creating communication lines, creating connectivity through online activities, mobile telephony, and really thus enabling also those areas where you cannot have fixed lines, communication lines, and therefore also drawing in rural areas into the overall global economy. So let me give you some examples. There may be, maybe in the western part of China, quite a number of smaller companies who produce handicraft, maybe rugs, maybe clothing, maybe other products, and by using online platforms, Alibaba for example, they can reach out to customers within China, anywhere in China, but even also to customers outside China, internationally. They can thus sell their products to customers which they otherwise would even know exist, or they would never think of. I think through the Belt and Road Initiative, there is a huge opportunity, especially for the neighboring countries, to also create a strong backbone for economic development. And I think there, the Belt and Road Initiative and all the infrastructure elements that are related to that really ensure that you can be part of an ecosystem and really become part of the global economy. And I think this is really the essence.